On to item number 10. We have three, before I do that, I'm sorry, I'm remiss, and I hope the person that owns this vehicle's battery isn't dead. It's been reported that there is a Toyota out in the parking lot with a license number of 4 PXV 405 that has their lights on. So if you have a Toyota and you think your lights are on, you can go out and turn them off.
Oh, no.
Sandra, are those?
Battery cables and everything.
All right, good.
Sandra.
Okay. Moving to 10.1, it's consider resolution implementing passenger fare increases for Dixon Ready Ride. Jeff?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. Staff first presented information on the state of the Transit Fund 350 in December of 2008. At that time, Council authorized staff to publish a notice for a public hearing to be held January 27th to consider passenger fare increases as well as service adjustments for Dixon Ready Ride. At that time, Council approved a reduction in service hours. We went from closing at 6 p.m. to closing at 5 p.m. And we also reduced the number of hours we operate during the day. Council also approved the first phase of a two-tier fare increase. At that time, however, Council asked that we return to you as soon as possible to consider further fare adjustments and perhaps even move forward the second tier increase that was proposed and implement that sooner rather than waiting till July. Up on the screen there is the proposed fare adjustments that were shown to you at the January 27th meeting. On the left shows the current, or the fare that was in place originally. The council approved the fares that are shown there under February 2009. These rates did go into effect February 1. And the July dates are the fares that were proposed as the second phase of the process. This is what council asked us to bring back. We have noticed this meeting for consideration by the public. Since the February fares were implemented, some additional information has become available regarding the city's allocation of TDA funds, Transportation Development Act funds, and other grant opportunities. In January, projections were for TDA revenue to decrease by 10% for the current fiscal year and an additional 5% for fiscal year 2009-10. Based on the last quarter sales tax results and estimates moving forward, we are now looking at a current year reduction of only 2%, so substantially less. And then the projections right now that have been published by MTC are for a reduction of 7% for 2009-10. So we're looking at a substantially smaller decrease in our TDA revenues than was originally projected in January. Also, the city has received some information on a grant opportunity that we have secured for preventative maintenance in the amount of $48,000. This will help augment some of the grants that we are losing for direct operation. Based on the latest information, staff is proposing only a minor adjustment to the fare schedule. And that would be to simply add a quarter to the youth fare, which would be effective July of 2009. And that is based on a feedback that the council had provided us that there was a desire to have the adult fares and the youth fares be the same. So that's why that increase would be there. And again, this would be effective July of 2009 at the earliest. The reason being for that, we currently have, as we described to you before, a subscription service for our school trippers. We have subscription both to and from school. Those folks that sign up for that do so for an annual basis. We've already increased their fares once. This would be a second adjustment within a 2-month period, and they're signed up through the end of the year. Originally, the rates are based on, we take the entire year's number of school days in the year, divide it by how many school days there are and how many months there are, and come up with an average for a monthly fee. So this would, implementing in July, give us a fresh start for the next school year. In addition to the fare change that we're recommending in July, staff is proposing what we're calling a day pass, which would be basically a punch card that would be sold by the drivers for an additional $1. And this is to meet an interest that was expressed to you by one of the seniors, Bessie Miller, in a written communication during the 27th hearing. This is also modeled after a program that the City of Vacaville is using for Vacaville Coach. The day pass provides the opportunity for a passenger who is making multiple trips within one day, instead of paying the higher rate for each leg of that trip, they only pay for an additional day pass of $1. Based on information we have from the City of Vacaville and others, this has been a popular program and actually has generated additional revenue through increased passengers.
And this day pass then would be, anybody could purchase that, it just wouldn't be, we wouldn't just limit it to the seniors, is that
That's correct. That's the proposal. Anybody that got on, so if you were a adult paying $2 to get on, you could pay $3 and get a day pass. The driver would hand you a punch card, and that would be good for the remainder of that specific day only. You still need to go through the same process of calling to reserve the ride. It wouldn't guarantee you a quicker service or anything like that. It would just provide that second and potentially third leg cheaper. So for example, if you're going to the bank, then you're going to Walmart, then you're going to home, that would be 3 trips. You'd be paying $2 or a total of 6. With the day pass, you'd pay $2, purchase the day pass card for additional $1. The rides would cost you $3 total.
And would that be then applied for, say, going to school and getting picked back up from school? I mean, if you're going to do a day pass for that?
The school-run service is really a premium service that people are applying for, so we're not recommending doing that for that. You are actually reserving the right to a seat at a specific time going to and from, rather than having to call and request a ride, and perhaps we can't provide that service. So what you're paying for is really a premium service to be able to guarantee that to and from school ride, that seat is there for you. With the day pass, it doesn't guarantee you that. If you get dropped off at Walmart and then call up because you need a ride back, it may be 10 minutes, it may be an hour, depending on how busy we are when we can accommodate you.